Good morning. Good to have you with us today.
Hey, thank you, Martha.
You said to me earlier that there's really two meetings today. The first one is going to get underway shortly, and I know you're going to be part of that meeting for the Republicans to really discuss their strategy. What are they saying going into that meeting?
You know, we're talking about a two-step strategy that really focuses on our goal, which is we got to tackle finally the real challenges facing America, which is how we save Social Security and Medicare for the long term. Sequester has been helpful, but we've really been stepping over dollars to pick up dimes there. We think the big challenges are the entitlements. Republicans have the courage to do this and tackle this. I'm not sure the president or Democrats do, but we're going to focus on it.
All right. Well, Paul Ryan's plan would be to have a 6-week extension. And the only way that the Republicans would agree to that 6-week extension of the debt ceiling or raising of the debt ceiling for 6 weeks would be if you could put tax reform and entitlement reform on the table for discussion, correct?
Well, whether that's part of the full package or the short term hasn't been decided yet. My guess is the short term will be a down payment saying we are going to change our spending habits. I think we want more time to lay out the growth issues like tax reform and energy, but also the spending restraint issues. What we really need, I think, at the end of the day, is spending caps, guardrails around future spending from Congress. We just need a little more time, I think, to lay that out.
I mean, do you think the president is anywhere near ready to strike that kind of deal? He has not been interested in tax reform. He's not been interested in entitlement reform. He said those are off limits. This could be just a big non-starter.
Well, maybe not. You know, he's teased his support for reforming the tax code for corporations. We think it needs to be done for everybody. He's teased out in his budget some small steps on Medicare and Social Security. In the past, he's always insisted on more tax revenues. That's not going to happen. But we can take items from his budget that he's proposed for the country and agree on several of them. So let's take steps that he's already said, at least publicly, that he'll support.
Well, it's going to be really interesting to see how receptive he is to any of this. He has made some comments that lead people to believe that it's opening up a little bit, and he might consider some of these, that he knows it's been difficult for Republicans, was one of the comments that he made. Let's take a look at this new Rasmussen poll, because I saw this number this morning. I think it's shocking. 76% of the country believe that the United States is headed in the wrong direction. That's a stunning number, is it not, Congressman?
Yeah, it really is. I mean, I felt that way, and our district has felt that way for a long time. I think the country has felt that way as well. It just tells you that this brinksmanship isn't working, that how deep in debt we are isn't working. This very weak recovery, actually the weakest in modern history, isn't working. So for the president to say, I'm going to stay where we're at, I refuse to negotiate, refuse to change course, I think it makes him extreme.
Let me ask you this, Congressman, because I think people are tired of crisis politics and they're tired of the brinksmanship game. So why is it that House Republicans, 4 months ago, 5 months ago, didn't come forward with a plan and pass a bill for tax reform and entitlement reform of this nature, and put it out there 4 or 5 months ago? Then you folks could look back at it today and say, we've been wanting this for a long time. Why not?
Great question. We began these discussions on these issues. Ways and Means Committee that I serve on has actually spent 2.5 years. We are very close to laying out the first top-to-bottom draft of tax reform since President Reagan did it. We've laid out entitlement reforms. What we haven't yet is put it in a full package because we want a president to negotiate, to sit down. We know we can't do this by ourselves. And so we think the president needs
So you can only function this way, then, is what you're saying. You've been working on tax reform for 2.5 years, but you've withheld it from a vote because you want to push it to the last minute for this kind of brinksmanship? And that's what it sounded like. I'm sorry.
Well, that is not how it is. Republicans are serious about tackling these issues. You do need, in this constitutional government, a president to help lead. We're going to lead as Republicans. We'd like a partner in the White House with us, but we've got to tackle the big challenges, and we have the courage to do it.
Well, it seems like the can gets kicked further down the road every time, and now we may be looking at a 6-week extension, during which time we may discuss some of these things, I guess.
We can get to this solution, but we're going to have to do it the right way.
All right, Congressman, thank you very much.
Thanks.
We wish everybody up there on Capitol Hill good luck in working this out because people are disgusted. Yeah. Congressman, thank you so much.
Great.
Good to have you here.
So Republican leadership